Morning, everyone. Welcome to MConnect's monthly webinar series. We will be starting this webinar in a couple of minutes. Just give us time. Hopefully, we'll have more people join us by the time. I'm sharing my screen. I hope everyone can see this. All right. Again, morning, everyone. Welcome to our monthly webinar series from MConnect. Today, we will be actually we'll be talking about retargeting and how small businesses, again, we'll be using more examples around restaurants, but whatever we talk today in terms of the remarketing or retargeting, we can use the same principles, same methodologies for other sets of industries as well. Um, so if you have any questions, feel free to raise them in the chat window, and if time permits, I will actually answer those questions at that time, or maybe at the end of the webinar as well. Right. A little brief about us. We've been in the restaurant marketing since 2015. Our approach has been more around data-driven marketing using customer data that we collect across our A2A model, which we're going to talk in a little while. Again, some of our clients includes Paleo's Pizza here in Dallas, Bay 34, Taco Simas, Dairy Queen, and others. Right. And today's agenda, I'm going to actually talk about what is retargeting and why small businesses, or for that matter, anyone should be using retargeting. And then we will be talking about how one can go about using Facebook and Google platforms to retarget the customer base. So this would be more, the emphasis for this webinar would be more on the how-to part in terms of both these platforms, both from a search engine or search marketing or search remarketing, as well as Facebook or social media remarketing point of view. Right. Um, so this is our customer engagement model, what we call as an A2A customer engagement model, where we focus on customers at the initial stage, which is the awareness, becoming all the way to advocates. So at each stage, as a business, the objective of your marketing campaigns or your strategies would be around achieving that particular objective. For example, in awareness, obviously, as a business, you want to raise awareness about your brand in terms of reach and in terms of number of people actually looking at your ads and all those kind of things. At the engagement level, through content marketing and other methodologies, you try to increase the engagement and so on and so forth. The acquisition, where you want to you want to actually purchase your product in store or online, and those kind of things, right? And obviously, you want the customers to turn into loyal customers and then refer their friends and family in the advocacy stage. At each stage, you can actually whatever marketing strategies, again, with regards to the remarketing or retargeting, you can actually achieve that principles in terms of, for example, if someone actually has made a purchase at your store, then they are more likely to come back to the store using in this acquisition stage, in the sense that like you can actually market to those people by appealing to their experience that they actually had at your store. Similarly, if a brand advocate is there, and obviously you want to reiterate the point saying that your business is the best business out there. Like, for example, let's take an example of a restaurant. If you're in the breakfast area, saying that, hey, you can tell your advocate saying that your breakfast place is the place to go for their friends and family to have a relaxing time, right? So whatever, again, our entire philosophy at mconnect is based on this A2A customer engagement model, and we always focus on trying to move a customer from awareness to the advocacy stage, as in like we want to push the customer through these funnels by various methodologies. And the retargeting, which we're going to talk about today, will again focus on this model quite like a number of times. We'll be talking about like how you can remarket to those people who are who have been made aware of your brand, or who are engaging with your brand, or who made a purchase, and so on and so forth, right? At a very high level, retargeting is nothing but someone who actually have been to your page, who actually are exposed to your brand, and is through they either have exposed to the brand when they've actually walked into the store, or they actually have come to your website or social media pages and other things. So they, let's take again this example of a breakfast place. Someone might basically be driving on, and they've actually opened a Waze app, okay, on Google, and they are trying to find directions, and all of a sudden they might have actually seen an ad for this particular breakfast place. They click on it, they go to their landing page. Now that particular customer is made aware of this particular brand called Bay 34, okay, one of our clients. Now we take that data and we try to reiterate the point that, hey, listen, you have actually seen this or clicked on this ad called Bay 34th Breakfast Place. Now we will be showing that particular ad wherever they're actually going to go, right? It's kind of sounds a little bit creepy, but end of the day, it shows that this particular customer is actually interested in this particular brand called Bay 34th, and they want to actually, we want to make sure that like we are popping up any offers or anything that comes. Actually, that in a nutshell is all about retargeting. And again, it could be retargeting done just when you see an ad, retargeting done when you actually went to make a purchase and it did not make the purchase, and it could be just that retargeting based on your previous history, and so on and so forth. So the classic example is Amazon uses this technology as in like so well that you end up buying more than what you actually want to buy, right? So they actually show products similar to this one. They show products similar to what your profile people have actually purchased. They show products that you have actually previously purchased and you might be interested, and so on and so forth, right? So it's basically the, you're kind of building an ecosystem based on what the customer has done or has seen, and it's kind of a personalization experience from a customer's perspective, right? So this in a nutshell is like what we call as what we call as in like retargeting, right? And end of the day, it's basically, why should you as a business focus on retargeting, right? Again, just imagine this, right? For you as a business, if you want to go and reach out to a new customer, the cost of customer acquisition, in the sense that you should basically make this person aware of the brand, you should engage with the person, and then that particular customer making a purchase. So they have to go through these three hoops, And just imagine that you're not the only business in the market. Like, again, taking this example of Bay 34th as a breakfast place, there are other brands which are actually targeting, like you have the McDonald's of the world, the IHOPs of the world, which are saying that, hey, we have this new egg McMuffin for $1 and all those kind of things, right? So given that there is so much competition within the marketplace, you want to pick and choose which ones you think are more, and from a customer point of view, are more pliable, for lack of better terms, to come to your store. So it's again, these are some of the statistics, as you can see, which is saying that if a person is exposed to your brand, they're more likely to view your brand, or if they have actually purchased and their experience is good. Again, bear in mind, there's no point of retargeting your pissed off customer. You will actually piss him off more. Rather than marketing him, you want to mollify that customer and then make the customer a happy customer, or a neutral customer, for lack, if it's so. Retargeting will not work if a customer is pissed off, because it kind of becomes a negative thing, saying that the business actually pissed me off and now they are trying to come back and sell me more, kind of a thing. So bear that in mind, and we'll talk about that maybe at the end of this session. So as you can see, these are some of the stats as to like why you as a business should focus on your marketing budget on retargeting, right? And then now we have actually talked about like the first two things, right? Like what is retargeting or remarketing, and why you as a business we need to focus on this one. So we just spent like around like 10 minutes on this one. So the focus right now is, as I said in the early on, is how you as a business can use some tools, and how you can actually retarget your customers, or retarget it, or remarket to your existing customer base. So again, we'll take examples of Facebook and Google, and given like the advancement of technologies in terms of ability to track a customer, ability to find their previous purchases, and all those kind of things. Retargeting has become, it's very easier. Anyone can actually spend some time, maybe a couple of hours on this one, and should be able to start on retargeting or remarketing to their existing customer base. And the rest of the slides, we will be focusing on those, on the ways and means. It's basically a how-to guide for that one, right? So there are multiple ways in which one can actually retarget, as in, like, again, first is the website visitor. So anyone who visited your website, for like they were searching for something, like, for example, like Italian places around me, or like places which are open late night, or pizza around me, something. So they might have landed on your website, right? Or then the other thing is also that they have actually come to the website and they started placing an order, and they did not place the order. So we'll talk about the event-based retargeting, which basically is based on some action that the customer has done or has not done, and how you can actually target to those customers, saying that, hey, like, we are here if you want to place an order, kind of a thing. So the very first thing is how you can actually target those customers who have been to your website. That's number one. The other thing is also is that how you can actually, let's assume, again, we talked about the A to A model, right? In the sense that people have to be aware of your brand called Bay 34th. Once they are aware of this brand Bay 34th, then you can do these things, in the sense that you can actually remarket them. Like, the awareness comes again, let's assume they have actually come to your social media and they liked your page, or they actually just visited your page, or something like that, right? um, or they've actually given your emails, in the sense like they have come to the website, they liked what they have seen, and they said, okay, subscribe me to specials, right? Then actually they have given your email ID. So again, bear in mind, we are talking about the strategies or the ways in which one can retarget your the customers. It could be a casual visitor who have come for the very first time onto your website, or an involved customer where they've actually given their information in terms of liking the social media pages, email IDs, right? Or the other one is like the mobile retargeting, in the sense they've actually installed their apps or your apps, and that's another way of retargeting. And the search retargeting is something specifically for on the search engine side, like on Google side. If someone is searching for let's assume again pizza places nearby or something like that, right? You can target those customers using your geolocations and those kind of things. Or for example, let's assume you are into the insurance industry, and someone is searching for car insurance. So you can actually say that, okay, target, like for example, I'm talking about a national brand. Anyone who's talking about car insurance, maybe Progressive, or someone will show their ads on Google saying that, do you know you can get quotes from different places by using our insurance engine or something like that, right? So again, retargeting as to can be done using your website visits, social media, someone who has submitted their email IDs, someone actually searching for something, right? Because they have an intent to make a purchase, or they're looking for some information, or someone who have actually installed your apps, right? Um, and the other thing is also that off late, you can also retarget based on the proximity, in the sense that, like, let's assume that a customer actually has come to your store, and you can basically have some kind of like beacons or something based on that, where you know that the person actually has visited the store, and then you can start like following them, and if they allow any kind of like notifications that can be enabled on their on their smartphones, you can also ping them with offers and geolocations and those kind of things as well. Again, that is basically a location based retargeting, right? So again, we talked about what is retargeting and why retargeting, and in what ways can you retarget, in the sense that, like, what are the channels. When I say channels, it's basically like it's not just that you can retarget random persons, right? You can retarget only those customers who made a visit to one of your assets, like your online assets or your offline assets, and you can start like tagging them or like trying to follow them, and making sure that like your ads or your offers are actually showing on them, right? um, so again, this is another slide which kind of talks about why retargeting, right? In the sense that we actually, again, as I said, like Facebook and Google being the dominant players in the industry, they have provided extensive tools for you as a small business to basically go onto their platforms, do a couple of clicks, and then upload your data and all those kind of things, or just point them in the right direction, so that and then obviously start like putting some money into their ad network, so that they can start like targeting those persons who have actually been to or within that particular network, in the sense that, like, I've given an example of someone is driving by on Waze, and they have seen an ad on Waze and saying that, oh, this looks like an awesome place for Bay 34th, this one street diner place. And then we are actually going to say, okay, now this person has seen our ad. He or she is more likely to come if we offer them a free coffee. So why not we do that one? And then obviously you have some settings and all those kind of things which will say that if a person actually has seen this ad, you can actually show him an following offer within the next 48 hours, and then they will click on that ad and they will come to that ad. If they do not click on the ad in the 48 hours, that means that person might have accidentally clicked your ad in the very first instance on Waze. So then there's no point of actually so those are the kind of facilities or technology that Facebook and Google actually provide to you, so that you know that whatever you are spending on retargeting, it's very time bound, location bound, and all those kind of fun stuff, right? Um, Again, it's often said that, like, when it's like the purchase for any particular brand or any particular industry, a casual visitor will not convert into a customer. For that, you need to constantly reiterate the fact that you as a brand are there for the particular customer to basically make the purchase. Even after the purchase is made, it's a constant reinforcement. It's like called TOM, the top of mind recall. And especially, for example, it works a lot in terms of like your, if it's an impulse purchase, again taking a restaurant industry, right? If someone is hungry and they want to actually go to a restaurant in the afternoon, it could be just that they might have actually seen an ad, or it could be just they have seen an email, or they have gotten an offer, and all those kind of things. And you want to reiterate the fact that you as a restaurant brand is in the top three in terms of whenever they are making a purchase decision of going to a restaurant, right? And it's not just a reinforcement but also kind of an engagement, right? Like when they see an ad from coming from you which will say that buy one get one free kind of a thing, and they have been to a restaurant quite recently, or they have actually liked your page, and they like that shows an inclination, and that means they're more likely to avail that offer, and they basically engage with your brand as well, right? And obviously we are talking about the sales as well, in the sense that, like, when we are like showing an ad in terms of buy one get one free, they are more likely to click on that ad, and they're more likely to use that coupon for customers to actually walk into the door. Like, for example, let's take summer is coming up, all right? And if someone is searching for ice cream cake or something like that, then obviously Dairy Queen would like to focus on those people who are searching um, uh, for uh, for ice cream cakes, and show an ad saying that Tuesday offer, buy one get one, get the second one at 50%. So that means these people are looking for a specific product. In this case, they're looking for ice cream cake, and you as Dairy Queen brand is basically targeting those people, saying that yes, these people are looking for the ice cream. Let me actually entice them with this offer, so that they are more likely to basically hit that particular ad and make the purchase, right? So that's basically increased sales. And it's all customer preferences, right? At the end of the day, again, let's assume this way. There's no point of sending a coupon for a vegetarian guy for from buy one get one chicken sandwich kind of a thing. Two things, right? You're basically sending a wrong message to a wrong person, right? You're wasting your dollar amounts. And the second thing is the customer is also pissed off, saying that why in the world are these people basically sending me this information when they know that I'm not going to use this coupon, right? So the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to actually talk about how you can do this retargeting on Facebook and on Google, right? So if you look at like Facebook, right, obviously, as a platform for Facebook, obviously they have tons of information about you as a customer, right? So they actually want to use this as a provide you as a business owner this information for you to retarget to those customers who are familiar with you as a brand. So in this next few slides, we're going to show how you can actually do that. From where you should be. Again, we talked about the website, we talked about social media pages, and other things, right? App and other things. So how can you use Facebook in each of these instances? Like if someone actually has visited your website, how can you use Facebook to retarget to those customers? How can you retarget those customers who made a purchase or who did not make a purchase? How can you retarget those customers who actually have installed your app? How can you retarget, as in, like, again, The point here being that these people have been to your business either in the virtual world, on online social media app world, or they also have been to your store in a physical form and then made the purchase and all those kind of things, right? Here again, we talked about like the website and ability to upload mails or integrate with MailChimp and all those kind of things. And then obviously there is this tool called Pixel, which will it's like a small tracking code kind of a thing where you are installing this particular pixel onto different assets of your ecosystem, so that they can keep track of like who are the people who are visiting and all those kind of stuff, right? So this is like in a nutshell, like how what are the different things or the steps that one actually has to take. So it's not just on your page, but also as in like on your website, but also you can keep track of um, those people who have interacted with your business in terms of who have actually have visited your Facebook page, they click on some content, they've actually filled out a form, or even on Instagram, they've actually visited your profile page. And then you are basically saying that, hey, these are the set of people that I would like to focus on this particular, again, going an example of like a buy a free coffee on purchase of a muffin. All right. So you want to show this one ad to those customers who are already fans of your page, those who have already liked or commented on your page, or who have basically have seen your videos or something, or basically have been interacting with your Instagram page as well. Right. And this is the ecosystem. Like on Facebook and Instagram, your actually ads will appear. So how can you go about doing the retargeting or remarketing using Facebook, right? The very first thing that you need to do is like you need to actually have, again, we talked about different sources of customer data for you to retarget, like in the sense that website or people who have been to your Facebook page, right? Or you actually have your own set of like offline customer data, like in terms of your POS data, your online ordering data, and those kind of things. You can use all these sets of data and provide it to Facebook, saying that, hey, Facebook, these are the people who are my customers. I want you to find these customers and show them this buy one get one offer, right? And obviously there are certain steps that are actually involved, in the sense that, okay, then at that point of time Facebook will ask you, hey, do you actually have a page? Hey, do you actually have pixel code? Do you actually have did you actually already install the pixel code on these pages? Then they'll verify it, and if it is verified, then they'll say that, okay, now you have done this one, let's set up the ad. And you define the ad parameters in terms of like, okay, how much you want to spend, what kind of an ad, is it a carousel ad, is it a video ad, and all those kind of things. And then that's when the ads would start running, right? Again, these are the high level steps that you as a business owner, you have to do in order for you to set up these retargeting stuff, all right? So again, the very first step is Facebook Manager, the business manager. It's pretty easy. You can just go, once you actually have your Facebook page, you can go to Facebook as in like, and try to convert that as in like create a Facebook business manager, right? Or if you are an agency, you can request that from respective client of yours to give access to your page, right? Uh, Once this is done, you need to basically make sure that you are adding the ad accounts um, to those business manager, as in like, in the sense that, let's assume you actually have 3 pages that you actually manage, right? And so you want to create an ad account for each of them, so that you know how much money you're actually spending on each ad account for each of these pages, right? So once you're done, right, again, this is how the Facebook a business manager would actually look like, right? You need to basically go through your the setup guide, right? Again, as I said, like the ad account if you have created, or you can actually claim that particular this one ad accounts and link that ad accounts to your Facebook business manager. Once that is the primary step. Again, Facebook Manager integrated with your ad accounts. That's step number one. Step number two is basically looking uh, at creating the pixel. Right, pixel is nothing but a code. Uh, it's like a small snippet of code that you can actually put across, and where you can actually keep track of you can actually keep track of um, keep track in the sense like keep track of people who are visiting your pages and all those kind of things. So as you can see, you can actually go to your menu, and here from here it will actually ask you to create a pixel, where you can actually say that, okay, I'm actually creating a pixel for my particular like a name or something like that, right? So you actually create that one. And then in this case, this is the tracking code. And then install this one in terms of like you can actually install this on multiple pages. Again, you can use the Facebook pixel using Google, like the Google Tag Manager, or if you're using any of these as like a Wix or WooCommerce or any of these things, so that you can keep track of the events that, as in, like, for example, if you're using Shopify for your shopping cart, you want to make sure that there's no cart abandonment being done, and those kind of things, right? Like, or if you're using, for example, at MConnect or platform Food Connect, we can actually integrate the pixel into that, so we can keep track of like how many people are actually visiting, how many people are actually clicking on complete, or who are actually abandoning the cart, and so on and so forth, right? You can actually do these kind of things, and you need to make sure that once the pixel is done, once you have actually installed this one, you need to verify that if Facebook is able to communicate with that particular asset. When I say asset, it could be a website, it could be your online ordering piece, and all those kind of things, right? If you need, then you might actually want to take a case of like, if this, for you as a small business owner, if it's complicated, you can obviously ask for help from your developer or someone else, right? And this is how the Facebook pixel would look like in the sense that it's like a snippet of code that is generated, and that you can actually copy and paste on any of these things. Again, we talked about like what all things that you can actually do in terms of the from a pixel tracking, right? It can actually look at like if anyone is trying to make a purchase and did not go through the place and order, right? It can also look for any of them actually looking for some search queries and all those kind of things, and it does these. You have all these things in the sense like the event tracking in terms of visiting a website or visiting a particular website page and all those kind of things, which we'll talk about in a little while, right? Like, again, this is the event tracking that we talked about, right? Wherein you have a shopping cart, and a particular customer actually have come to your website, clicked on place order, right? And they are looking at all the content and all those kind of things, but they did not place an order. So either they did not like what they have seen, or the price is too high, or they want to come back and place an order, or something actually has happened. So that now, if you look at it from a customer's perspective, these people are at the last mile. So it's, for you as a business owner, it's always better to kind of like reach out to them and place an as in like try to see if you can actually get them working with you in terms of And when I say working with you in terms of like basically telling them, hey, you abandoned the cart, here is like, if they see that the price is too high or something else, you might want to just give them another offer, or constantly tell them that you left this one, do you want to finish your order or something like that. Again, obviously you want to make sure that if they have abandoned the cart today, you want to target them today and tomorrow and day after, and not after a month, right? So here we talked about like the Facebook, like again, the pixel basically being created. Now we are talking about from where we can actually get the data, cut the customer data from, right? Like again, when you actually install it on the website using the pixel, you can actually say that it's track anyone, or like a remarket to those people who have visited your website, right? You can also create what we call as a custom audience, in the sense that you can actually upload, like here, this is a custom audience, right? Where you want to upload, let's assume you have an online ordering platform. You've got like their email IDs, Facebook page, sorry, email IDs, their addresses, and all those kind of things. And you can actually remarket to those people, in the sense the customer like, or you can also call it as a custom lookalike, in the sense that like similar profile. Let's assume your target audience is 35 years old, living in this area, and have two kids, and earns 150K and all those kind of things. So basically Facebook will expand that. Let's, you have 100 people in the list, and in within that area there might be 1,000 people, right? So Facebook knows that, okay, these are the other 900 people who are more likely to buy from you, so let me show this offer to those people, right? So that's in a shell, like that's your customer audience, right? The other one is also in terms of like basically app activity and all those kind of things. You can also actually, again, as I said, like on the website traffic, right? You want to actually say that, okay, I want to remarket to those people who visited my website. Again, we can specify the number of days, in the sense that someone who have actually come to your website 6 months back might not even, they might not even recognize you or something like that. So it's always better to retarget or remarket those people who've been to your place maybe in the past X number of days or X number of hours, or those kind of things that you can actually do in here, right? And at the same time, you can also say that, hey, did they visit a specific page, or did they actually make a purchase, and all those kind of things as well. That is the event-based targeting, right? So when you actually do this one, right, you can, as we said, like we can narrow down to the specific pages as well. Like for example, if you are in the online ordering business and someone actually visits your menu page, you want to target only those people who have been to the menu page. So that's what you actually want to say, that only run my offer to those people who have visited my by my menu page, right? uh, and then the other thing is also in terms of like basically you can also have some keywords in terms of saying that, okay, visit the website, but my page should also have like online ordering or menu pages and all those kind of things. And not just like, you don't want to retarget those customers who have just placed an order. Like the probability of someone who placed an order today again placing an order within the week or something might be low. So you want to only target those people who have visited your website, but not have but who have not done their page. Or you can actually exclude some of the pages they have actually visited. It could be just as listed here, saying that we thank you for your order, or something like that, right? You can also refine in terms of the frequency and the device. Like for example, if someone is searching for or visited your website on mobile page, or like they're basically clicking directions or something like that, then that means they're more likely to make a purchase, because most of the people who are doing a search on mobile, it's, again, Google has shown some data in terms of saying that where anyone making a search on mobile, they're more likely to make a purchase within the 48 to 72 hours kind of a thing, right? Again, if someone is a casual visitor, like a bounce back, like again, someone is searching for pizza around me and they came to your restaurant, but they were there only for like 30 seconds. So that means they did not like what they have seen, or they are not looking for your kind of product. So you might want to say that, okay, I don't want to target those people who have spent less than 2 minutes on my page, right? So that means anyone who spent more than 2 minutes on my page, they are more like involved, and they actually are looking for options and all those kind of things, right? You can also do the custom audience based on, as we said, like if anyone actually has installed an app, you can check for that, and also target ads based on that app, and then also the customer files, right? Um, Apart from that, Facebook itself has, these are all external sources, but you can also use Facebook sources as well. Facebook sources include someone who actually liked your page, someone actually commented on your page, someone actually viewed your video, right? Someone actually who actually have like commented on your content, and all those kind of different things that will enable you to run an ad and say that, okay, show this ad only to those customers who have been my fans. And obviously, at that point of time, Facebook might say that the number of people on your page is very less for us to run the ads, because Facebook also is also in the business of making money, and they want to show this ad to as many people as possible so that they can click on this one, right? Here also, where we talked about the time period, right? You don't want to select someone who have visited your website like a 6 months back, but more in the recent days, so that they are more likely to remember about you, and they remember about the experience, and they're more likely to come back to the store. So we talked about like the setting up with the pixel, and then trying to do the customer audience and all those kind of things. Now obviously is the ad part. The ad part from here onwards is the simple same ads that you have created. And then again, bear in mind when you are creating the ads, make sure that the ads are related to the people whom you're targeting, in the sense that like you want to remember something from their experience. Like it's not their first rodeo with you as a business, right? They have been to your business, they have interacted with you as a business, and so your ads should be different from the ads that you actually want to create for awareness. So maybe more to do with their recent offers. Like for example, let's say someone actually has given a restaurant business, let's say, a 5-star review now on Yelp. Now, one should be able to get this data and say that, okay, now given that you have actually gave us a 5-star review on Yelp for this particular order that was placed 1 week back, I'm gonna give you another offer, or like another offer for you for the coming Tuesday, and I'm gonna run from 5 to 7 on that day for this set of customers, or lookalike customers, right? So you can actually set it up in such a way that you can time your ads as well, right? Again, this is where you're kind of talking about the ad placements in terms of which networks you want to run on, how much of a budget, and what kind of ads, and so on and so forth, right? So this completes your steps in terms of how one can set up the retargeting on on Facebook, right? Again, Facebook has a lot of data in terms of the customer preferences and all those kind of things, and then you can actually use this information, as in like in terms of in terms of retargeting, remarketing, and creating those ads, so that the probability or the possibility of someone clicking on those ads is much higher than you targeting a new set of customers, or your like it's a refined approach of running your marketing budget. Now, how can you do the same thing on Google? right? And in Google here, if you think about it, you can do the same set of things, right? In the sense that someone visiting your page or someone liking your social media and all those kind of things. But at the same time, here on Google, people also show their intent in terms of searching up the keywords, right? So if someone searches for pizza around me, right? There's no point of IHOP actually trying to put an ad around it. But Pizza Hut would be very interested in putting an ad around it saying that, hey, you just search for a pizza in the 75001. And if you order in the next 30 minutes online, you will get a free cheesecake on purchase of two pizzas, kind of a thing. Right. And obviously that's the way how Google actually writes, right? Like you basically have based on their visits, right? Based on their purchases, right? And based on the apps they have actually installed, right? Here, how are you actually can do this one? Like in the sense that as I was talking to you about, you can do with search ads. If someone actually says that pizza places around me, Pizza Hut might actually put an ad at the very top saying that, hey, you're looking for a pizza, our pizza place is right across the corner or something like that. Or the second one is like basically ability to do the display ads both on YouTube and other display networks that Google has partnership with. And here also, based on the customer profiles, you can actually choose, pick and choose in terms of like what content or what to display for that customer, so that they can actually act as in, like in terms of making the purchase and all those things. And the third one is uploading the customer list, right? Even on Google, you can actually upload the customer list so that Google can actually either show the ad only to those set of customers or a lookalike customers, kind of a thing, right? So now the next few slides we will be talking about how you can actually set it up on Google, right? So the very first thing is you need to have these two things, like a Google Analytics account and a Google AdWords account. So you need to make sure that you set it up, and then in the Google Analytics page, right, you can actually set it up to having a marketing, like you can actually say that, okay, I want like to have it to remarket, and then at that point of time you would actually say that, okay, connect to my Google ad accounts, and it would actually connect to that remarketing, in the sense at that point of time, again, like from Google ads perspective, right? You are trying to create those ads that is retargeting based on the customer data that you get from Google Analytics and third parties. So here also, like when you actually talk about the remarketing, right? In the analytics, you would have similar to Pixel. Also, you would have a code that Google generates, and that you actually, as a business, actually have to install it on different sources or different assets of yours, right? So here we're talking about, like for example, in the Google Analytics, as I was saying, right? You can actually get the code from there, and try and start using Google Analytics in order for you to remarket to those customers here. So here is the case, right? You basically, this is your Google Analytics account, and you go to their property info, and then you get the tracking code in here. And here is where you actually get what kind of like it's a snippet of code again that can be used in terms of like those web pages and all those things. So whatever we talked about in Facebook in terms of the methodology wise, like finding the finding the sources of your customer data and all those kind of things, the same thing can be followed on Google as well, right? And then you can actually run the campaigns both on Google as well as on Facebook. right? Once you're done with setting up the analytics account, you want to link your ad networks account. So here, as you can see here, this is, if you look at it, analytics .google.com. Here you would actually see um, the linking between the ad networks and the analytics account, right? Here, once we are done with that, you need to start looking at the custom audience, in the sense that, okay, I want to target only those customers who have been to my website and all those kind of things, and that is where your custom audience will come into play. And here again, bear in mind, like when you actually go to the analytics account and these ones, where you can get the custom audience, like in terms of how you can actually get the custom audience in here, right? um, so here, once you do that one, right, you can save that custom audience to your particular target ad campaign. And then you can actually say, okay, start the campaign. Obviously, there are a few things that you need to do in order for you to run the campaign successfully, right? In the sense, again, these are the steps in terms of linking the ad campaigns to your analytics account and all those kind of things, and obviously creating the ads and those kind of things. So if you look at these are the marketing audience which will actually give you, okay, how are you going to retarget them based on what, right? So here you can actually say that these are the audiences that I'm actually looking after, that I would like to retarget them in terms of my ads on Google, right? Um, in terms of, again, the additional like whatever audiences that we are actually defining in analytics, these are all like step-by-step instructions that you can actually click and actually say that, okay, I want to add additional like additional resources or additional customer sources for me to enable retargeting to those, all those customers, kind of a thing. um, Again, we talked about the custom audience. In this case, if you have a custom audience of an Excel file, you can actually upload it here, wherein it will actually ask you, it will actually map you in terms of what are the different demographics and all those kind of things. So you would know that for retargeting, when you're going in, you're not going empty-handed, in the sense that either you're creating a custom audience or a local audience based on certain set of data that you actually have, right? So here, like, we are actually talking about the remarketing code, and if you look at Facebook, we actually have a pixel. Here is where we are actually gonna actually do something in terms of on Google side itself, right? Um, so here, as you can see, how you can actually install the remarketing code on this one. So you basically go to Tools, Audience Manager, and all these steps, right? And then you need to basically make sure that there is a head at the beginning and then at the end of the page, in terms of like copying this particular code base and all those kind of things. Um, Here you can actually create multiple lists based on who your customers are. Like, for example, are they your website customers? Have they saw your ads on YouTube? Can you actually upload your customer this one, or can you do a combination of all these kind of things? As in, like, you want to target people who watched your YouTube link plus who placed an order, kind of a thing, right? That also you can actually do in terms of like how you can create a custom audience on the page, as in for Google Ads. Um, Similar to Facebook, we can also specify which, if you want to target those customers who visited, like specify URL or like containing some keywords and all those kind of things, right? Or you can, based on your app traffic, in the sense that, like, if you have an Android app and people have actually installed it, you can put this remarketing code in that as well, and keep track of how many people are actually making the purchase, and all those kind of things, right? And then on the Google side, right, we need to make sure that um, we can, like in the sense like we can create a marketing list, provided the account is connected to the Google AdWords. Um, So if you look at it, this is like a customer, like how can we generate a customer base? Again, we talked about this one, right? If you have an email ID, or if you have online ordering data, or if you have a special subscription data that can be actually used. And that's where you actually have, when you submit the data, it will give you, like again, Google will basically do a search and find something similar to these people, and then they can actually start targeting those people who have similar profile as yours, right? These are the different combinations that one can do in terms of selecting the customer audience, in terms of the website audience or website visitors, and all those kind of things, right? Once you actually are done with the customer data, in the sense that like you have actually uploaded the data through custom audience or through search engine marketing or something like that, then you can start the ads, in the sense that you need to collect, you need to basically set up a goal, you need to send a campaign, and all those kind of things. uh, that would actually enable the ad manager to start the ads based on the customer information, right? And then again, the customer information can come in multiple ways, right? Here also we can actually talk about, again, talking about this one, um, where it would actually, here when we are talking about the customer audience, right, it would give you an option in terms of whether you want to select all of them or only targeted ones in here. Um, Once you have the audience, then all these things is in terms of like how you can set up an ad account, in terms of adding, visit a carousel ad or visit a regular ad, and then in terms of the images and all those kind of things, right? So here, as I said, like we already have identified who the new customers are based on separate criteria, and then we start like promoting these ads to those specific set of customers in here. So in a nutshell, right, like we talked about like why one should do retargeting, for the simple reason that the customer is already aware of you as a brand. So it is better for you to target those customers who are aware of you and who can actually um, kind of like, they are like basically a low hanging fruits, if we can call them. So you can actually retarget them in terms of like asking them to come to your store because they have made the purchase and they like the experience, and so on and so forth. So it's easier for you to get the ROI on the retargeting is way higher than the ROI on generic ads that you actually run. All right. Any other questions, guys? So again, any, if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to send an email at marketing@mconnect.com. Um, we are based in Dallas. We are like a restaurant marketing company. Any questions, if you have like or anything like that, feel free to visit our website as well, mconnect.com, and you can also email us or call us at this number. Right. I think that actually ends the webinar for this month, where we are actually talking about like where we talked about retargeting, why retargeting, how to do retargeting using Facebook and Google. All right. And next month we'll also be doing a webinar shortly. I think that we will be announcing what the webinar could be. And again, as always, if you have questions or anything like that, feel free to reach out to us. And also subscribe to our monthly webinar series, so that anything, if you have a specific suggestion regarding what kind of topic you would like us to focus on, do let us know, right? You can actually email at marketing@mconnect.com, and one of ours will actually respond to you. All right. Thanks everyone again for joining us on this monthly webinar, and we hope to see you next month. Have a good day.